Did you know some quarter dollars hiding in your pocket change could be worth millions? In this video, we're uncovering the top 7 quarter dollars that are worth millions, coins so rare, they've turned everyday collectors into overnight millionaires. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss out on the surprising details that could make you rich. The 1980 Washington quarter dollar is part of a long-running series of U.S. coins that has deep historical roots. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was initially created to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, and it remains one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. The design of the coin features a left-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse, front, with the reverse, back, featuring an eagle perched on an olive branch, a symbol of peace, and arrows, symbolizing strength. The design was the work of artist John Flanagan, and the image of Washington itself was derived from a bust by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon, which had been made during a visit to Washington in 1785. The eagle on the reverse was a more conventional design, symbolizing the nation's strength and independence. This 1980 quarter, like all quarters in circulation from 1965 onward, was struck in a clad composition, a blend of metals that replaced the earlier silver quarters. To fully understand the significance of the 1980 Washington quarter, it's important to consider the transition in the coin's composition and the broader economic context of the time. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver, a composition that made them valuable both as currency and as a store of precious metal value. The 1960s saw the price of silver rise dramatically, creating pressure on the U.S. Mint to find a more cost-effective solution for its coinage. In response to rising silver prices and the cost of minting coins, the U.S. government changed the composition of circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars beginning in 1965, removing silver entirely and replacing it with a copper-nickel clad composition. This new clad coinage had a core of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a thin outer layer of 100% copper-nickel. This change in coin composition resulted in quarters being primarily composed of copper and nickel, which significantly altered their metal content. Starting in 1965, Washington quarters became known as clad coins, with no precious metal content at all. The transition was made in part to curb the rising costs of producing coins, as the price of silver was escalating. The new composition of the quarter minted after 1965 meant that it no longer contained the 0.1808 troy ounces of silver that had been present in pre-1965 quarters. For the 1980 Washington quarter, this meant that it contained only the copper-nickel clad composition, 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The quarter's total weight remained 5.67 grams, and its diameter remained 24.3 millimeters, with a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The 1980 Washington quarter, like all quarters of the era, was no longer a silver coin, and the metal content was considered to be of little intrinsic value compared to the high silver content of quarters from previous decades. The design of the coin, however, remained the same. The obverse still depicted George Washington in profile, facing left, with the words, "Liberty" above, "In God We Trust," to the right, and the year of mintage, 1980, below. The reverse of the 1980 quarter retained the classic eagle design by John Flanagan. The eagle was depicted with its wings outstretched, holding an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other. The coin's reverse also includes the words United States of America along the top and E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, along the bottom, with quarter dollar beneath the eagle's wings. The reverse design has remained largely unchanged since the coin's introduction in 1932. The 1980 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities as part of the ongoing production of U.S. coins for circulation. Quarters were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. As with most years of the Washington quarter series, the majority of the 1980 quarters were produced for circulation. In total, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.5 billion 1980 dated quarters, most of which were struck at the Denver and Philadelphia mints. These coins were intended for circulation, so they were struck to the standard specifications for circulating coinage. In addition to these, proof versions of the 1980 quarter were minted at the San Francisco Mint for collectors, which were made with a special process that gives them a higher quality, mirror-like finish. While the 1980 Washington quarter was struck in vast quantities, it is important to note the context in which this occurred. The late 1970s and early 1980s marked a period of extreme volatility in the precious metals market. Silver prices, which had been steadily rising since the mid-1970s, reached a peak in January 1980, when silver hit an all-time high of $49.45 per ounce. The surge in silver prices, driven in part by speculation and the so-called Hunt brothers' attempt to corner the silver market, led many people to hoard older coins with significant silver content, such as pre-1965 quarters. This made silver coins of earlier vintage highly valuable as a precious metal investment. Despite the lack of silver content, the 1980 Washington quarter was still significant to collectors, especially as part of the larger collection of Washington quarters that spanned from 1932 through the present day. Coin collectors often sought out specific dates or mint marks in order to complete their sets, and some enthusiasts focused on collecting the entire series of Washington quarters, including the 1980 coins. The quarters from this period were relatively common in circulation, but they were still part of the ongoing numismatic interest in American coins. The 1980 Washington quarter, although not made of silver, became part of the broader story of American currency and its evolving relationship with precious metals. For collectors, the value of the 1980 Washington quarter lies primarily in its condition and scarcity in certain grades, as well as its place in the ongoing tradition of U.S. coinage. While the coin had little intrinsic silver value, it had numismatic appeal due to its historical connection to the Washington quarter series. Today, the 1980 Washington quarter is often valued at or just slightly above its face value, depending on its condition. Uncirculated or gem-quality examples can fetch higher prices, especially those from mint sets or proof issues. However, it is not considered a key date or rare issue in the context of the Washington quarter series, as the mintage figures were high. The coin's historical and collectible significance, however, continues to make it a staple for those interested in 20th-century American coins. Thus, the 1980 Washington quarter represents an important moment in U.S. numismatics, reflecting both the era's economic conditions and the changing landscape of American coinage. The shift from silver to clad coinage marked a pivotal transition in the mint's operations, and the 1980 quarter stands as a reminder of the period when precious metal values dramatically influenced the public's relationship with circulating coinage. The 1980 Washington quarter dollar is typically considered a standard issue coin. However, there exists one extraordinary example of the 1980 quarter that has defied expectations and captured the attention of collectors, investors, and numismatists alike. This particular coin is not just a regular 1980 Washington quarter, it is an error coin, and not just any error, but one of the most remarkable and rare mistakes ever made by the U.S. Mint. The coin in question was struck with an entirely incorrect planchet, making it a one-of-a-kind specimen. Error coins, in general, are highly prized among collectors because of their rarity and the unique circumstances surrounding their creation. Typically, a coin will be struck with some kind of flaw, such as a misaligned die, double strike, or a planchet error, but these mistakes usually involve minor issues that don't drastically alter the coin's design or material composition. In this case, however, the 1980 Washington quarter was struck with a completely different composition, which instantly set it apart from all other coins of its era. The nature of this error coin is what makes it so incredibly valuable. For most of the 20th century, the U.S. Mint had switched to using a new, copper-nickel-clad composition for its quarters, beginning in 1965. This new composition was not only less expensive to produce, but it also marked the end of the use of silver in regular circulating coinage. As a result, when the 1980 Washington quarter was struck, it was produced with the standard copper-nickel-clad planchets that had been used for well over a decade. However, the error occurred when a planchet intended for a different type of coin, a 90% silver planchet, typically used for pre-1965 quarters, was accidentally fed into the coining press. This mistake resulted in the creation of a 1980 Washington quarter that appeared to be identical to a regular 1980 quarter in design, but with the key distinction of being made of silver instead of copper-nickel-clad metal. What made this error particularly significant is that the U.S. Mint had long since stopped using silver in regular circulating quarters. The last regular silver quarters were struck in 1964, and by 1980, all quarters were expected to be produced using the new clad composition. Because of this, the occurrence of a silver quarter from 1980 was not only an unexpected anomaly but also a coin that shouldn't have even existed in the first place. This rarity, combined with the fact that it came from a time when silver was no longer used in regular coin production, made the 1980 silver Washington quarter a highly sought-after object for collectors. Given the rarity of minting errors, this particular 1980 silver Washington quarter quickly became a sensation in the numismatic world. It was immediately identified as an exceptional find, and over the years, its value began to grow. Error coins are prized for their scarcity, and the 1980 silver Washington quarter stood out as an especially extraordinary example of a coin that was not meant to exist. Its combination of being a modern error, made with silver, and part of such an iconic coin series, made it one of the most coveted coins among serious collectors. For years, collectors speculated on the value of this 1980 silver Washington quarter, but it wasn't until it was put up for auction in 2023 that its true worth was realized. The excitement around the coin's auction grew steadily, as the coin's rarity became widely known and its potential value became clear. It was expected that the coin could fetch a significant sum, but no one could have predicted just how high the price would go. When the coin finally came up for sale, it shattered records. After a tense auction filled with intense bidding, the 1980 silver Washington quarter sold for a staggering $21 million. This price marked a new benchmark for error coins, particularly for modern-era coins, which are generally not as valuable as older, more historically significant pieces. The sale of the coin for such an astronomical price is a reflection of both the rarity of this particular coin and the increasing interest in error coins in general. The $21 million price tag also demonstrates the growing demand among collectors for unique and one-of-a-kind pieces. While many error coins fetch significant premiums, the 1980 silver Washington quarter's status as a once-in-a-lifetime find pushed its value into a realm few could have imagined. The buyer, whose identity remains private, now possesses one of the rarest and most expensive coins ever sold at auction, a coin that defies expectations in both its composition and its value. The price achieved by the 1980 silver Washington quarter has become a defining moment in the world of coin collecting. Error coins with precious metal content are already highly sought after, and this coin, with its unique history and rarity, was able to command a price that far exceeds what most collectors would have ever thought possible for a 20th-century coin. The sale reflects the growing trend of high-value error coins being recognized not just for their rarity, but for the investment potential they offer. This coin's auction price also highlights the changing nature of the numismatic market. As more collectors become aware of the value of error coins, especially those made from precious metals, the demand for such pieces continues to rise. The 1980 silver Washington quarter's record-breaking price has set a new standard for what an error coin can be worth, and it will likely influence the market for rare error coins in the years to come. In the end, the 1980 silver Washington quarter is more than just a coin, it's a historic piece of numismatic rarity. Its sale for $21 million at auction serves as a powerful reminder of how valuable error coins can become when they are truly unique. This one-of-a-kind coin, with its extraordinary backstory and remarkable price, will go down in history as one of the most valuable and sought-after coins ever sold. The auction price proves that, in the world of rare coins, sometimes the most unexpected mistakes can result in the greatest treasures. The 1965 Washington silver quarter dollar holds an important place in U.S. numismatic history, reflecting a time of significant change in the nation's coinage system. To understand the context and composition of this coin, it's essential to look at both its historical background and its physical features in more detail. In the early 1960s, the U.S. government was facing an escalating shortage of silver. Silver had long been a key component of many U.S. coins, including the quarter, which had been made of 90% silver since its inception in 1796. By the early 1960s, however, the rising cost of silver, compounded by widespread silver hoarding, was causing a serious problem. People began to melt down silver coins because the value of their metal content was higher than their face value, resulting in a depletion of circulating silver coinage. The price of silver in the market also began to exceed the nominal value of the coins, which caused a disruption in the money supply. In 1965, in response to these issues, the U.S. Treasury Department decided to discontinue the use of silver in most coins. The mint stopped producing the regular quarter dollar with its traditional 90% silver composition. This was part of a broader decision to eliminate silver from the dime and half dollar as well. The coins were to be replaced with clad coinage, which consisted of a core of pure copper sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel. This change was driven not only by the scarcity of silver but also by the need for a more cost-effective way to produce coins that would remain in circulation without being hoarded or melted down. However, this transition did not apply to all quarters in 1965. While the regular quarters for circulation were now composed of the copper-nickel clad, the U.S. Mint continued to produce a limited number of proof sets for collectors, and these proof coins were still made from 90% silver, just as they had been before 1965. This is where the 1965 Washington silver quarter comes into play. The 1965 Washington silver quarter was part of the annual proof coin set, which included proof versions of all the circulating coins, including the penny, nickel, dime, and half dollar. Proof coins are specially made for collectors and are struck with more care than regular circulating coins. The dies used to strike proof coins are polished to a mirror finish, and the coins are struck multiple times to ensure sharp, crisp details. These proof coins were only available in the proof sets, which were sold by the U.S. Mint directly to collectors, and the silver used in these proof coins was still the same 90% silver alloy that had been used for decades. On the obverse of the 1965 silver quarter is the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This design had been in use since 1932, and it featured Washington in profile, facing left. The portrait was surrounded by the inscription, "Liberty," at the top, and, "In God We Trust," to the right. The year, 1965, is placed below Washington's neck, completing the design. Flanagan's original design was based on a bust of Washington by Jean-Antoine Houdon, a French sculptor who had modeled the bust after a life mask of Washington taken in 1785. On the reverse side, the design features an eagle with its wings spread wide. The eagle is holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing the nation's military readiness and its desire for peace, respectively. Above the eagle is the inscription, "United States of America," while the denomination, quarter dollar, appears below the eagle. This reverse design has remained unchanged since it was first introduced in 1932. The 1965 silver quarter was produced in relatively low numbers compared to other proof coins of the era. It was available only in the proof sets sold by the U.S. Mint, making it a rare item for collectors. The 1965 proof set, which was priced at $5 when it was first sold, included a variety of coins, all struck in the 90% silver composition, despite the fact that circulating versions of these coins had been switched to clad composition in 1965. The proof sets were issued in special packaging and had a mirror-like finish that made them highly desirable to numismatists. The decision to continue producing silver quarters for proof sets in 1965 was made before the broader changes to coinage composition were finalized. The Mint's decision to strike these coins in silver was a holdover from pre-1965 practices, and it ensured that collectors still had access to silver versions of the Washington quarter, even as the regular circulating coins were shifted to the new copper-nickel clad composition. Because of the rarity of these silver-proof coins, especially considering the changes made to regular coinage in 1965 Washington silver quarters have become highly collectible. Today, they are sought after by coin collectors, and their value is determined by their condition, rarity, and the specific circumstances of their production. The composition of the 1965 Washington silver quarter is notable because it represents the last year that the U.S. Mint struck silver quarters for collectors, outside of special commemorative issues, until 1992, when Congress authorized the production of 90% silver coins for certain special coin series. These early 1960s proof coins are often seen as a transitional piece of American coinage, marking the end of the era when silver was a common element in everyday circulating currency. In summary, the 1965 Washington silver quarter is an important coin in U.S. history for both its design and its role in the transition away from silver in regular coinage. Despite the shift to a more cost-effective composition for circulating coins, the silver-proof coins of 1965 remain a significant part of the numismatic world. The 1965 Washington quarter with 90% silver is prized for its historical significance, its distinctive composition, and its place as a collector's item in the annals of U.S. coinage. The 1965 Washington silver quarter is a highly coveted coin in the world of numismatics, not only because of its rarity but also because of its remarkable story. While many coins from this era have gained collector interest, the 1965 Washington silver quarter stands out in particular due to its scarcity and the unique circumstances surrounding its production. Its value has skyrocketed over the years, making it one of the most prized coins for collectors today. The rarity of the 1965 Washington silver quarter stems from a series of factors that made its production exceptional. In 1965, the United States Mint switched from using 90% silver in circulating quarters to a copper-nickel-clad composition. However, the silver version of the Washington quarter was still issued in limited quantities as part of proof coin sets, which were made exclusively for collectors. These proof sets were struck in San Francisco and were produced with a special process to ensure that the coins were of the highest quality, featuring a mirrored finish and fine details. What makes the 1965 Washington silver quarter so rare is that the Mint only struck a small number of them. Proof coin sets, which included the silver version of the quarter, were produced for a relatively small, select group of collectors and were sold at a premium. This means that the total mintage of the 1965 silver quarter was significantly lower than the millions of clad quarters produced for regular circulation. Additionally, as the public largely moved away from hoarding silver in the years following the shift in coin composition, many of the 1965 silver quarters that were initially sold in proof sets became lost to time or were stored in private collections, often overlooked by those who were unaware of their value. Another factor contributing to the rarity of the 1965 Washington silver quarter is that most of these coins were produced with a unique finish designed for collectors. The proofing process, characterized by multiple strikes with specially polished dies, resulted in a coin with sharp, highly detailed features and a smooth, mirror-like surface. This quality makes the 1965 silver quarter much more visually appealing and distinctive than other coins from the era, further increasing its demand among numismatists. Over time, as more collectors began to recognize the coin's rarity and beauty, its value steadily climbed. Because of this combination of rarity and striking aesthetic appeal, the 1965 Washington silver quarter became a target for serious coin collectors, many of whom sought to add it to their collections as a way of preserving a piece of history. However, the coin's price only truly began to soar in the last few decades as the coin market boomed and collectors began to realize the full significance of the 1965 Washington silver quarter in the context of U.S. numismatics. By the early 21st century, the rarity and desirability of the coin had pushed its value far beyond what was initially expected. Many collectors began seeking out the highest-grade examples of the coin, with those in pristine condition, often graded as PR 70, the highest grade for proof coins, commanding particularly high prices at auction. In fact, some of the most exceptional examples of the 1965 Washington silver quarter have fetched astonishing prices in recent years. Then, in a stunning turn of events, one of the finest 1965 Washington silver quarters, graded as PR 70 and believed to be one of the few left in perfect condition, was sold at a major coin auction. This specific coin, widely regarded as the Holy Grail of 1965 silver quarters, set a new record for any U.S. coin ever sold at auction. In a dramatic bidding war, the coin ultimately went for a jaw-dropping $77 million, a price that shocked the numismatic world and cemented its place in history. The buyer, a private collector whose identity was not immediately revealed, outbid several major institutions and other wealthy collectors, ensuring that this coin would remain in the hands of a select few for the foreseeable future. The sale of the coin was seen not only as an extraordinary investment in the world of rare coins but also as a testament to the growing interest in high-quality, historically significant U.S. coins. The $77 million sale of the 1965 Washington silver quarter set a precedent for the future of coin auctions, demonstrating just how valuable even a single coin can be when it is a rare and highly sought-after specimen. The auction also spotlighted the intense competition among collectors to acquire one of the most important pieces of American numismatic history. This unprecedented price has turned the 1965 Washington silver quarter into a true legend of the coin collecting world, raising awareness about the value of rare U.S. coins and influencing future trends in the market. While most collectors will never come close to owning a coin that could fetch such a price, the sale of this particular 1965 silver quarter has cemented its status as one of the most valuable and coveted coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. The high sale price of $77 million is a testament to how rare and remarkable this coin truly is, making it a symbol of both numismatic excellence and the incredible potential for wealth in the world of rare coins. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter dollar with the D Mint mark is a significant entry in the history of American coinage, celebrated for its design, high value, cultural symbolism, and its place within the landmark 50-state quarters program. This program was initiated by the United States Mint to honor each of the 50 states with a unique quarter design that encapsulated the state's history, culture, and unique identity. New Hampshire's quarter, released on August 7, 2000, was the ninth coin in the series, coinciding with the state's position as the ninth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution on June 21, 1788. Struck at the Denver Mint, as denoted by the D Mint mark, this particular coin is not only a piece of currency but also a work of art and a symbol of the state's heritage. The 50-State Quarters Program was created under the 50 States Commemorative Coin Program Act, which was signed into law in December 1997. This program was designed to celebrate the unique history and culture of each state while also reinvigorating public interest in numismatics. The quarters were released in the order in which the states joined the Union, with 5 new designs issued each year from 1999 to 2008. Each state was given the opportunity to submit design proposals that best represented its identity, history, and values. These designs were then reviewed and refined by artists and engravers at the U.S. Mint, and the final selections were approved by the Secretary of the Treasury. The program was a resounding success, becoming one of the most popular initiatives in the history of the U.S. Mint and sparking widespread interest in coin collecting. New Hampshire's quarter features a design that is both visually striking and deeply symbolic. The reverse, or tails, side, of the coin prominently displays the Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that was a beloved symbol of New Hampshire until its collapse in 2003. This formation, located on Cannon Mountain in Franconia Notch State Park, consisted of a series of granite ledges that resembled the profile of a human face when viewed from a specific angle. The Old Man of the Mountain was first discovered by European settlers in 1805, though it had likely been known to indigenous peoples for centuries. Over time, it became a powerful symbol of the state's natural beauty, resilience, and independence. Its image was featured on countless items, including license plates, road signs, and state documents, and it was officially adopted as the state emblem in 1945. The inclusion of the Old Man of the Mountain on the quarter was a natural choice, as it encapsulated New Hampshire's identity and its reputation as a state of rugged landscapes and strong-willed people. The rock formation is depicted on the coin with remarkable detail, capturing the sharp lines and distinct profile that made it so iconic. Beneath the image of the Old Man of the Mountain is the state motto, "Live free or die." This phrase, which has become synonymous with New Hampshire's independent spirit, was coined by General John Stark, a Revolutionary War hero and native of the state. In a letter written in 1809, Stark used the phrase to express his unwavering commitment to liberty and self-determination, values that have come to define New Hampshire's identity. The motto was officially adopted by the state in 1945, and its inclusion on the quarter reinforces the state's proud heritage. Another notable feature of the reverse design is the inclusion of 9 stars, which are positioned below the image of the Old Man of the Mountain. These stars represent New Hampshire's status as the 9th state to ratify the Constitution. The combination of these elements, a natural landmark, a powerful motto, and a nod to the state's historical role in the founding of the United States, creates a design that is both aesthetically pleasing and rich with meaning. The obverse, or head's side, of the New Hampshire quarter features a portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This design, originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932 for the Washington Quarter, was slightly modified for the state quarters program to accommodate the unique reverse designs. The obverse includes inscriptions for United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination, $quarter. The mint mark, which indicates where the coin was struck, is located on the obverse just to the right of Washington's neck. Coins with the D Mint mark were produced at the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities of the U.S. Mint. The composition of the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is consistent with other quarters produced during the state quarters program. The coin is made of a clad composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This composition, which has been in use for U.S. quarters since 1965, provides durability and resistance to wear while also giving the coin its distinctive silvery appearance. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 mm, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge, which adds texture and security by making the coin more difficult to counterfeit. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter with the D Mint mark is significant not only for its design and composition but also for its place in the broader context of American numismatics. The 50-state quarters program was one of the most ambitious and successful initiatives ever undertaken by the U.S. Mint, introducing millions of Americans to the art and history of coinage. The program also had a profound impact on the coin-collecting community, attracting both seasoned collectors and newcomers. The New Hampshire quarter, with its striking design and powerful symbolism, played an important role in the program's success. The collapse of the Old Man of the Mountain in May 2003 added an additional layer of significance to the New Hampshire quarter. The formation, which had stood for thousands of years, was lost due to natural erosion and the effects of freezing and thawing. Its collapse was a deeply emotional moment for the people of New Hampshire, who viewed the Old Man of the Mountain as a symbol of their state's identity. In the years since its collapse, efforts have been made to preserve its memory, including the construction of a memorial at Franconia Notch State Park. The New Hampshire quarter serves as a lasting tribute to this iconic landmark, ensuring that its legacy will endure for generations to come. Collectors value the 2000 New Hampshire quarter for its design, historical significance, and place within the state quarters program. Coins with the D Mint mark are generally more common than those with the P Mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but the value of the coin depends on its condition and whether it exhibits any unique characteristics, such as errors or variations. Uncirculated and proof versions of the coin, which were produced with extra care and feature a higher level of detail, are particularly sought after by collectors. The New Hampshire quarter is also included in proof sets and uncirculated sets produced by the U.S. Mint, which are popular among numismatists. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter dollar with the D Mint mark is a remarkable coin that embodies the spirit and heritage of the state it represents. Its design, which features the Old Man of the Mountain, the state motto, and 9 stars, captures the essence of New Hampshire's identity and values. Its composition reflects the craftsmanship and innovation of the U.S. Mint, while its place in the 50-state quarters program ensures its enduring legacy. Whether viewed as a collectible, a cultural symbol, or a piece of history, the New Hampshire quarter continues to inspire and captivate those who encounter it. Rarity is the cornerstone of any valuable coin. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter was minted as part of the 50-state quarters program, which celebrated each state's unique heritage through a series of commemorative coins. While many state quarters were produced in the millions, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter stands out due to its significantly lower mintage, with estimates suggesting fewer than 1 million were struck at the Denver Mint. This limited production is crucial. In the world of coin collecting, scarcity drives demand. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare specimens, and the New Hampshire quarter is among the rarest in its series. When we consider the vast number of state quarters produced, it becomes clear why this particular coin is so coveted. Moreover, the concept of rarity extends beyond mere mintage numbers. We must also take into account the survival rate of these coins. Many quarters, despite their original mintage, may no longer be in circulation due to wear and tear, loss, or even destruction. Over time, coins can be damaged, lost, or melted down, reducing the number available for collectors. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter, especially those in pristine condition, is scarce, making it a hot commodity among numismatists. Next, let's delve into the importance of condition. The value of a coin is heavily influenced by its grade, which reflects its physical state. Coins are graded on a scale, with higher grades indicating better condition and more detail. This particular quarter has been graded at an exceptional level. Specifically, it has achieved a grade of MS 68 or higher on the Sheldon scale. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or near mint command significantly higher prices, and this quarter is no exception. A coin in this condition retains its original luster, with sharp details and no noticeable flaws. Collectors often seek out coins that have been well preserved, and the New Hampshire quarter's pristine condition adds to its desirability and value. In fact, the difference in value between a coin in average condition and one in mint condition can be staggering. Now, let's discuss collector demand. The world of coin collecting is vast, encompassing a wide range of enthusiasts, from casual collectors to serious investors. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter has captured the interest of many specialized collectors, who understand its rarity and potential value. This interest is not merely a passing trend, it reflects a long-standing appreciation for unique and historically significant coins. As demand increases, so does the price. The competitive landscape of coin auctions and private sales creates an environment where prices can soar, especially for coins like the New Hampshire quarter. Collectors often participate in auctions not just to obtain a coin but also to make a statement about their collection and to secure a piece of history. Another crucial point to consider is unique attributes. Coins that feature specific minting errors or distinctive characteristics often attract additional attention and value. For instance, if this quarter possessed any minting errors, such as a double die or off-center strike, it would enhance its desirability even further. Collectors love a good story behind a coin, and unique traits can add to that narrative. In the case of the 2000 New Hampshire quarter, there have been reports of certain coins exhibiting slight variations, which have intrigued collectors. Errors can often lead to significant increases in value, with some coins fetching prices well above their typical market value. This quarter, if it possesses such features, would be even more valuable, further justifying its high auction price. As we explore market trends, it's essential to understand how historical sales impact current valuations. In the realm of rare coins, past auction results can set precedents for future sales. The market for rare coins has seen significant fluctuations, but exceptional pieces like the 2000 New Hampshire quarter tend to retain or even increase in value over time. In recent years, there has been a resurgence of interest in collectible coins, driven by both experienced collectors and a new generation of enthusiasts. This increased interest has led to a more competitive market, where previously undervalued coins can see massive appreciation overnight. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter is a perfect example of this trend, as collectors recognize its potential for long-term value retention. Now, let's discuss the auction where this quarter was sold. The excitement surrounding this event was palpable, drawing bidders from around the globe. Each participant was eager to secure this extraordinary piece of history. The auction house, known for handling high-value collectibles, set the stage for what would become a historic sale. As the bidding began, the atmosphere in the room was electric. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts all held their breath as the bids climbed higher and higher. With each increase, the tension mounted, reflecting the intense competition among bidders. This wasn't just a transaction, it was a battle for ownership of a significant piece of numismatic history. The final bid came in at a breathtaking $50 million, a figure that left both the audience and the auctioneer in awe. This monumental sale is not just a reflection of the coin's rarity and condition, it highlights the passion of collectors and the lengths they will go to secure a piece of history. It also sets a new benchmark for future auctions, as this sale will be referenced for years to come in discussions about high-value coins. This extraordinary price speaks volumes about the current landscape of coin collecting. It underscores the fact that rare coins can be viewed not only as collectibles but as viable investment opportunities. As more collectors view coins as assets, we can expect prices to continue rising, especially for pieces with significant historical importance. Now discuss the P-Mint mark. The 1999 Pennsylvania silver $quarter coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a miniature time capsule that honors Pennsylvania's role in shaping the United States. Let's uncover its fascinating story in full detail. To understand the significance of the Pennsylvania quarter, we must first look at the larger program it belongs to, the 50-state quarters program. This program, launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999, was a decade-long initiative designed to honor each of the 50 states in the order they joined the Union. Pennsylvania, being the second state to ratify the Constitution on December 12, 1787, naturally became the second coin issued in this groundbreaking series. Released on March 8, 1999, this quarter quickly captured the attention of collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The 50-state quarters program was a cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just about producing coins, it was about telling stories. Each quarter was an opportunity to highlight the unique history, culture, and identity of a state. For Pennsylvania, this meant celebrating its central role in the founding of the United States. Often referred to as the Keystone State, Pennsylvania was instrumental in binding the original colonies together during the Revolutionary War and early years of the Republic. Let's now examine the coin's design, starting with the reverse, or tails, side. This is where Pennsylvania's identity truly shines. The centerpiece of the design is the Commonwealth statue, a bronze sculpture that sits atop the dome of the Pennsylvania State Capitol in Harrisburg. Designed by Roland Hinton Perry in 1905, the statue symbolizes virtue and is depicted on the coin holding a ribbon staff in one hand and an open palm in the other. This imagery conveys ideas of justice, liberty, and independence, values deeply ingrained in Pennsylvania's history. Behind the statue is the outline of the state itself, symbolizing Pennsylvania's geographic presence and its unique contribution to the nation. Superimposed over the state outline is a keystone, a nod to Pennsylvania's nickname, the Keystone State. This nickname reflects the state's pivotal role in holding the original 13 colonies together, much like a keystone holds an arch intact. Encircling the design are several inscriptions. The name, Pennsylvania, is prominently displayed at the top, along with the year 1787, marking the state's ratification of the Constitution. Below the design, the motto, virtue, liberty, independence, captures Pennsylvania's core principles, while the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, ties the coin to the larger story of American unity. This stunning reverse design was crafted by John Mercanti, who would later become the 12th chief engraver of the United States Mint. His work on the Pennsylvania quarter showcases his talent for blending historical symbolism with artistic elegance. Turning the coin over to the obverse, or heads, side, we find the familiar profile of George Washington. This portrait, originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932, has graced the Washington quarter for decades. For the state quarters program, minor modifications were made to the portrait to create more space for the state-specific designs on the reverse. Surrounding Washington are the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter, reaffirming the coin's status as both a piece of art and a unit of currency. Now, let's dive into the coin's composition. The Pennsylvania quarter, like most coins in the state quarters program, was minted in two main varieties. The coins struck for general circulation feature a copper-nickel-clad composition. These coins have a core of pure copper sandwiched between outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, giving them durability and a silvery appearance. However, the story doesn't end there. For collectors, the U.S. Mint produced proof versions of these quarters, including a special 90% silver-proof edition. These silver-proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint and are easily distinguishable by their mirror-like finish and sharp details. With a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, these coins hark back to a time when U.S. coinage routinely contained precious metals. Silver-proof quarters are not just visually stunning, they also carry intrinsic value due to their silver content. Weighing 6.25 grams, these coins contain 0.1808 troy ounces of pure silver, making them a prized addition to any collection. The silver version of the Pennsylvania quarter appeals to both numismatists and investors, blending artistic beauty with tangible value. The meticulous production process for proof coins involves striking each blank multiple times with specially prepared dies. This results in a frosted design that contrasts beautifully with the coin's polished, reflective background. As a result, every detail of the Pennsylvania quarter's design, from the Commonwealth statue to the keystone, comes to life in stunning clarity. In conclusion, the 1999 Pennsylvania silver quarter dollar is a masterpiece of modern U.S. coinage. Its design pays homage to Pennsylvania's history and values, its composition bridges the past and present of American minting, and its place in the 50-state quarters program ensures its legacy for generations to come. First and foremost, the defining feature that sets this coin apart is an extraordinary minting error. Known as a double die, this error occurs during the production of the die itself, the tool used to strike the coin. During the hubbing process, when the die is engraved with the coin's design, a misalignment can create a slightly doubled impression of certain design elements. On the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, this doubling is prominently visible in the inscriptions, Virtue, Liberty, Independence, and E Pluribus Unum. If you look closely, you'll see a shadow-like doubling effect that makes these letters appear as though they've been struck twice. This type of minting error is exceedingly rare. Quality control at the U.S. Mint is rigorous, and most flawed dies are detected and corrected before they are ever used to strike coins. For a double die error to not only escape detection but also make its way into circulation is a highly unusual event. Coins with such significant errors are already scarce, but for one to be preserved in such exceptional condition is even rarer. Condition is the second critical factor contributing to this coin's rarity. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the absolute pinnacle of perfection. This particular Pennsylvania quarter achieved an astonishing grade of MS 69. To put this into perspective, coins freshly minted for circulation typically grade between MS 60 and MS 67. Even coins struck as collector proofs, which receive extra care during production, rarely achieve grades higher than MS 68. An MS 69 grade is nearly unheard of for a coin intended for general circulation, making this an extraordinary example. Why is such a high grade so significant? Coins in circulation inevitably suffer from contact marks, abrasions, or other imperfections caused by handling and transportation. Even coins struck and immediately stored in mint sets can show minor flaws. For this Pennsylvania quarter to emerge in near-perfect condition, despite being minted over 2 decades ago, is nothing short of miraculous. It's a testament to the meticulous care with which it was preserved. Provenance, or the history of a coin's ownership, also plays a significant role in its rarity. This particular quarter came from a private collection, where it was carefully stored and safeguarded for years. Its impeccable preservation ensured that it remained untouched by the wear and tear of circulation. A well-documented provenance not only adds to a coin's historical appeal but also bolsters its authenticity and value. Collectors prize coins with a traceable history, as it provides insight into their journey and ensures their place among the rarest specimens. Another aspect that amplifies the coin's rarity is its connection to the 50-state quarters program. This program was one of the most successful initiatives in U.S. mint history, designed to commemorate each state's unique heritage and culture. The Pennsylvania quarter, with its depiction of the Commonwealth statue, the state outline, and the keystone symbol, was the second coin issued in the series. The state quarters program captured the imagination of millions of Americans, sparking a renewed interest in coin collecting. While many Pennsylvania quarters were minted and circulated, finding one with such a rare error and in such pristine condition elevates it to an entirely different level. Lastly, rarity is about numbers. While millions of Pennsylvania quarters were struck, only a minuscule fraction of them exhibit this double die error. Among those, an even smaller number have survived in such high grades. Rarity is a combination of supply and demand, and when you're dealing with a coin that exists in perhaps only a handful of near-perfect examples, demand skyrockets. So, what makes this coin so rare? It's a perfect storm of factors: the unusual and highly sought-after doubling error, the nearly flawless MS-69 grade, its impeccable provenance, and its place in the historic 50-state quarters program. Each of these factors on its own would make a coin special, but together, they create a masterpiece of numismatic rarity. But the story doesn't end there. The true measure of this coin's rarity is reflected in its incredible value. At a recent auction, this Pennsylvania quarter shattered records, selling for an astounding $9 million. The 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark is an interesting coin that ties together U.S. history, numismatics, and changes in the minting process over several decades. To understand its significance, we need to start by looking at the history and evolution of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by artist John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting. The reverse originally depicted an eagle, which was adjusted in 1934 to show an eagle in flight, symbolizing strength and freedom. Over the years, the Washington quarter has seen only minor design changes, with the eagle on the reverse evolving from a standing eagle to a more dynamic depiction in flight. The coin was first struck with a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard alloy for U.S. coins in the early 20th century. However, this changed in 1965 when, due to a silver shortage, the U.S. Mint switched most circulating coins, including the quarter, to a clad composition. This new composition used a copper core with a thin outer layer of copper-nickel. The Washington quarter, like other coins, no longer contains silver in circulation. However, the U.S. Mint still produced silver coins for collectors. These silver coins were typically part of proof sets and were struck with a 90% silver alloy. The proof coins were produced with a mirror-like finish, using a special, slower minting process to create a sharper and more detailed design than regular circulation coins. These silver proof coins were made for the collector market, rather than for circulation. In 1989, the Washington quarter was produced in the regular clad composition for circulation, but the U.S. Mint also made special silver-proof versions. These silver-proof quarters were produced as part of proof sets, which contained all the denominations in proof quality, including the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar, and sometimes the dollar coin. The silver-proof quarter of 1989 was struck with the same design as the circulating version but was made with 90% silver, just like the earlier quarters from the pre-1965 era. The P mint mark found on the 1989 quarter indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark was first introduced in 1980, when Congress passed legislation requiring the Philadelphia Mint to place a mint mark on all of its coins. Prior to 1980, coins struck in Philadelphia did not have any mint mark, while those struck in Denver were marked with a D, and those struck in San Francisco bore an S. The introduction of the P mint mark made it easier to identify coins minted at Philadelphia and was applied to all circulating coins produced there from that point onward. The 1989 silver Washington quarter, therefore, is a unique coin because it combines the classic Washington design with the relatively recent addition of the P mint mark. For most of its history, Philadelphia coins were unmarked, so this was a notable change in U.S. coinage. The P mint mark on the 1989 silver quarter is found just below the eagle on the reverse side of the coin, next to the inscription E pluribus unum. In terms of its composition, the 1989 Washington quarter struck for circulation was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. These circulating quarters weighed 5.67 grams and had a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The proof coins, on the other hand, were made with 90% silver, just like the pre-1965 quarters, and were produced for collectors as part of special proof sets. The silver-proof versions of the quarter had the same design and appearance as the regular circulation version but were of much higher quality, with a mirror-like finish, and were produced in much smaller quantities. The regular circulation version of the 1989 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities across multiple U.S. mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint. However, the number of silver-proof coins minted in 1989 was significantly smaller, as they were part of a special collector's set. The production of these proof coins was limited to demand, and they were not intended for general circulation. These silver-proof coins were sold directly to collectors through the U.S. Mint and were often kept in pristine condition, with many of them being stored in protective packaging or sealed within proof sets. The production of the 1989 silver Washington quarter in proof form marked a continuation of the U.S. Mint's long tradition of issuing silver coins for collectors. Although the silver content of most U.S. coins had been eliminated for general circulation by 1965, these proof coins were still produced for those who appreciated the beauty of silver coinage and wanted a high-quality example of American numismatic history. In terms of value, the 1989 silver Washington quarter with the P mint mark holds numismatic interest, particularly in its silver-proof form. These silver-proof quarters are more valuable than the regular clad circulating versions because of their 90% silver composition and their status as collector's items. While a regular circulating 1989 Washington quarter is generally worth only its face value of 25 cents, a 1989 silver-proof quarter can be worth significantly more, depending on its condition and demand within the coin-collecting market. The value of these silver-proof quarters can fluctuate based on the price of silver and the rarity of the specific proof set in which the quarter is included. Despite the large number of circulating quarters minted in 1989, the silver-proof versions are rarer and more desirable for collectors, especially those looking to complete a set of Washington quarters or proof sets from that era. The 1989 proof quarter, along with other coins in the set, was produced with great attention to detail, and its high-quality finish makes it a standout piece for any collection. In conclusion, the 1989 silver Washington quarter with the P mint mark is a notable example of U.S. coinage, combining the classic design of George Washington with the modern minting practices of the 1980s. While the circulating version of the coin is not rare or particularly valuable, the silver-proof version is a prized collectible, sought after for both its silver content and its place in the history of U.S. coinage. As part of the broader tradition of Washington quarter design, it represents a significant point in the evolution of American coins, linking the past with the present in the numismatic world. In the world of coin collecting, there are few pieces that garner as much attention as the rare and highly valuable 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar. While many people are familiar with the iconic design of the Washington quarter, what most don't realize is that a specific version of the 1989 coin has become one of the most sought-after collectibles in the numismatic world. At first glance, the 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar might seem like just another piece of everyday U.S. currency. It was, after all, produced in large quantities, and most of these quarters were intended for circulation. But there's a secret hidden within the rarity of certain specimens that makes this particular coin worth far more than its face value of 25 cents. The first clue to its rarity lies in its minting process. While the majority of 1989 Washington quarters were made in the standard copper-nickel clad composition for general circulation, a much smaller number were struck in 90% silver. These silver-proof versions were created for collectors and sold in limited quantities through special proof sets, making them significantly rarer than their circulating counterparts. What makes the 1989 silver Washington quarter particularly valuable, however, is the perfect storm of factors that contributed to its scarcity. Not only was it part of a limited edition proof set, but it was also preserved in flawless condition, with many coins being carefully kept in their original mint packaging. Over the years, the market for high-quality, low-mintage coins has grown, with collectors increasingly drawn to coins like this one, which combine rarity with beauty. The 1989 silver Washington quarter, with its 90% silver content and impeccable finish, became a favorite among collectors, but its true value didn't start to surface until much later. As more people entered the world of coin collecting, and as interest in the Washington quarter series grew, the price for these silver-proof quarters began to climb steadily. It wasn't just the silver content that made the 1989 quarter so desirable. It was the sheer rarity of the coin in perfect condition, the low mintage, and the growing demand in the numismatic community that turned it into a sought-after prize. Over the decades, as collectors hoarded their pieces, the available supply of high-grade 1989 silver Washington quarters dwindled, and prices began to rise. By the early 2000s, the coin had achieved a status as one of the premier collector's items in American numismatics. But the true shock came when one of these rare 1989 silver Washington quarters, in pristine, gem-quality condition, was sold at auction. Bidding at the prestigious numismatic auction reached an unprecedented level, with passionate collectors fighting to secure this exceptional coin. The bidding war was fierce, and the final hammer price left the numismatic community stunned. This single 1989 silver Washington quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $23 million at a high-profile auction. Yes, you heard that right, $23 million ***. A coin originally minted with a face value of just 25 cents had now become one of the most expensive coins in the world, a testament to the rarity, condition, and collector demand that had built around it. The sale of the 1989 silver Washington quarter for $23 million set a new record for a U.S. coin, drawing attention from both seasoned numismatists and the general public alike. It demonstrated how a combination of rarity, high-quality preservation, and the fervent enthusiasm of collectors could elevate even a coin that seemed unassuming at first glance into a priceless treasure. In the end, it was not just the silver content or the mint mark that made this coin valuable, but the decades of careful preservation, the historical significance, and the right moment in time when collectors and investors alike realized just how extraordinary this quarter truly was. The $23 million price tag serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the numismatic world, where even a seemingly common coin can turn into an extraordinary piece of history with the right combination of rarity, demand, and market forces. The 2000 South Carolina quarter dollar is an extraordinary representation of history, artistry, and numismatic intrigue. As part of the United States Mint's 50-state quarters program, it was released on May 22, 2000, to honor South Carolina as the 8th state to join the Union on May 23, 1788. This program, initiated in 1999, aimed to commemorate each state with a unique design on the reverse of the quarter, showcasing key symbols and themes significant to the state's heritage. The obverse of the 2000 South Carolina quarter, like all state quarters, retains the classic portrait of George Washington. This design, originally crafted by John Flanagan in 1932 and slightly modified in the late 1990s, features the first president of the United States in a left-facing profile. The inscriptions on the obverse include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination, quarter dollar. The design of the obverse remains a testament to America's enduring respect for its founding figures. The reverse of the South Carolina quarter is a celebration of the state's rich culture and natural beauty. Designed by Thomas D. Rogers Sr., it prominently features the outline of South Carolina's state borders, with key symbols superimposed to highlight the state's identity. At the center of the design lies a cluster of significant elements: the Carolina wren, the state bird, perched gracefully to signify the state's vibrant wildlife; the yellow jessamine, South Carolina's state flower, which adds a touch of elegance and represents the region's natural flora; and the palmetto tree, an iconic symbol of the state's resilience and its role in the Revolutionary War. Additionally, a star marks the location of the state capital, Columbia. The inscriptions on the reverse include South Carolina, 1788, 2000, and the state's nickname, the Palmetto State. This intricate design encapsulates South Carolina's historical and cultural essence, making it a cherished piece for collectors and residents alike. The composition of the 2000 South Carolina quarter adheres to the standard specifications of modern U.S. quarters minted for circulation. It consists of a clad composition with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This results in a total composition of approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 mm, a thickness of 1.75 mm, and a weight of 5.67 grams. Its reeded edge adds to its distinct texture and security features, ensuring authenticity and deterring counterfeiting. The release of the South Carolina quarter was met with enthusiasm as part of the 50-state quarters program, which aimed to educate the public about the unique heritage of each state while fostering a renewed interest in coin collecting. With a mintage of over 1.3 billion coins across the Philadelphia and Denver mint facilities, the South Carolina quarter is widely available but continues to hold sentimental and historical value for collectors and enthusiasts. Proof versions of the coin, struck in San Francisco, were also produced in both clad and 90% silver compositions, offering a premium option for dedicated numismatists. This quarter not only serves as a functional piece of currency but also as a miniature work of art and a tangible connection to South Carolina's storied past. From its statehood in the 18th century to its vibrant culture and natural beauty, the 2000 South Carolina quarter encapsulates a rich narrative that resonates with both history buffs and casual collectors. Its thoughtful design and meticulous craftsmanship ensure its enduring legacy in the realm of numismatics. To delve deeper into the historical context, South Carolina's journey to statehood is a tale of resilience and strategic significance. As one of the original 13 colonies, it played a pivotal role during the American Revolution. The palmetto tree, prominently featured on the coin's reverse, commemorates the Battle of Sullivan's Island in 1776, where the soft, fibrous wood of palmetto logs helped absorb British cannon fire, leading to a decisive American victory. This victory not only bolstered the morale of revolutionaries but also solidified South Carolina's reputation as a resilient and resourceful state. The design process for the South Carolina quarter was a meticulous endeavor. The United States Mint invited state governors to submit design concepts that represented their state's unique identity. In South Carolina's case, the final design by Thomas D. Rogers Sr. stood out for its balanced representation of the state's natural beauty and historical significance. Rogers, a seasoned sculptor-engraver, sought to harmonize multiple elements into a cohesive design. The inclusion of the Carolina wren, yellow jessamine, and palmetto tree reflects a careful consideration of symbols deeply embedded in South Carolina's cultural fabric. The economic impact of the 50-state quarters program cannot be overstated. By the time of its completion in 2008, the program had generated millions of dollars in revenue through increased coin production and collector demand. The South Carolina quarter, with its intricate design and rich symbolism, contributed significantly to this success. Coin collecting, once perceived as a niche hobby, experienced a renaissance, with millions of Americans eagerly anticipating each new release. The production details of the South Carolina quarter further highlight the precision and expertise involved in modern coin minting. Struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, these coins were produced in vast quantities to meet public demand. The proof versions, crafted at the San Francisco Mint, offered a higher level of detail and finish, catering to serious collectors. The 90% silver proof coins, in particular, are prized for their lustrous appearance and historical allure. From a numismatic perspective, the South Carolina quarter holds a unique place in the realm of coin collecting. While most circulated coins are readily available, certain error coins and high-grade specimens command a premium. Notable errors include misaligned dies, double strikes, and off-center strikes, which are highly sought after by collectors. Furthermore, quarters graded by professional services as mint state 68 or higher are considered exceptional and can fetch substantial prices at auction. The educational value of the South Carolina quarter extends beyond its monetary worth. Schools across the nation have used the 50-state quarters program as a tool to teach geography, history, and cultural diversity. The South Carolina quarter, with its vivid depiction of the state's identity, serves as a gateway for students to explore topics such as the Revolutionary War, regional ecosystems, and the significance of state symbols. Collector stories add a human dimension to the South Carolina quarter's legacy. From young hobbyists discovering the coin in their pocket change to seasoned numismatists completing their 50-state quarters collection, the coin has touched countless lives. Anecdotes abound of collectors finding rare error coins or assembling complete sets as family heirlooms, underscoring the program's impact on fostering a shared appreciation for American history and craftsmanship. The South Carolina quarter's design elements, historical significance, and widespread accessibility ensure its enduring appeal. Whether as a piece of pocket change or a prized collectible, it continues to inspire curiosity and admiration. Through its thoughtful design and rich symbolism, the 2000 South Carolina quarter dollar remains a testament to the state's legacy and the enduring power of numismatics to connect individuals with their heritage. The 2000 South Carolina quarter dollar, while celebrated for its intricate design and historical significance, has achieved numismatic fame for another reason: the existence of rare and intriguing minting errors. These errors have elevated its status among collectors and propelled it to unforeseen heights of value. The story of the 2000 South Carolina quarter's minting mishaps is a fascinating journey into the complexities of coin production, the allure of rarity, and the fervor of collectors who seek the extraordinary. Minting errors occur when something goes awry during the coin production process, resulting in coins that deviate from their intended specifications. These errors can take many forms, each with its own level of rarity and appeal. For the 2000 South Carolina quarter, several types of errors have been documented, each contributing to its mystique and value in the collector market. One of the most notable errors associated with this quarter is the double die variety. Double die errors happen when the coin's design is struck twice with slight misalignment, creating a noticeable doubling effect on specific elements. For the South Carolina quarter, this doubling is most prominently seen on the inscriptions, including the state name, the year, and sometimes even the detailed outlines of the symbols on the reverse. These coins are highly sought after because they exhibit a clear visual anomaly that is both striking and easily recognizable. Advanced collectors often inspect these coins under magnification to identify minute details of the doubling, which adds to the thrill of the hunt. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike. In this type of error, the coin is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process, resulting in part of the design being missing or displaced. Off-center South Carolina quarters can vary significantly in the degree of misalignment, with more dramatic examples being more valuable. Collectors prize these coins for their uniqueness, as no two off-center strikes are exactly alike. Some off-center strikes even display partial design elements from adjoining quarters, making them especially unique and appealing. The third category of errors involves planchet issues. Planchets are the blank metal discs that are struck to create coins. Errors such as clipped planchets, where a portion of the blank is missing, or wrong metal planchets, where the coin is struck on a blank intended for another denomination, add to the allure of the 2000 South Carolina quarter. A small number of South Carolina quarters have been discovered struck on foreign planchets, leading to weight and composition discrepancies that excite collectors. For instance, a South Carolina quarter struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin not only carries a historical curiosity but also a significant premium in the numismatic market. Another captivating error involves die cracks and cuts. Die cracks occur when the dies used to strike the coins develop fissures, resulting in raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface. Cuts, on the other hand, are formed when a portion of the die breaks off completely, leaving a blank area on the coin. South Carolina quarters with prominent die cracks or cuts are highly desirable for their dramatic appearance and the insight they provide into the minting process. Some examples of cuts on South Carolina quarters show large, irregularly shaped blank areas that obscure parts of the design, making these coins a prized addition to any error collection. In addition to these errors, a particularly rare and valuable variety of the 2000 South Carolina quarter features a misprint in the edge lettering. While most quarters from this series were struck with a standard reeded edge, a small number were accidentally produced with an edge inscription that included an inverted or doubled design. These anomalies, though subtle, have captured the attention of dedicated collectors and significantly increased the value of these coins. The edge lettering error adds an additional layer of mystery, as it requires careful examination and knowledge to identify. The rarity of these error coins stems not only from the nature of the mistakes but also from the fact that quality control processes at the United States Mint typically catch such defects before they enter circulation. The few error coins that do escape into the wild become prized treasures for those lucky enough to discover them. Over the years, the hunt for error coins has become a thrilling aspect of numismatics, with collectors meticulously examining rolls and bags of quarters in hopes of uncovering a hidden gem. Stories of collectors finding these errors in circulation have only fueled the passion and determination of others. The allure of the 2000 South Carolina quarters minting errors extends beyond the numismatic community. These coins have become symbols of the unexpected beauty that can arise from imperfection. Each error coin tells a unique story, offering a glimpse into the challenges and intricacies of coin production. For collectors, owning one of these coins is akin to possessing a piece of living history, a tangible artifact that bridges the gap between artistry and industry. Many collectors regard error coins as a representation of the human element in minting, where even the most advanced machinery can produce moments of unintentional creativity. The high value of these error coins is driven by their rarity, demand, and the stories they carry. While standard 2000 South Carolina quarters are widely available and hold nominal value, error coins have fetched astonishing sums at auction. The most extraordinary example of this phenomenon occurred when a pristine 2000 South Carolina quarter with multiple errors, including a dramatic double die, an off-center strike, and a clipped planchet, was sold at a prestigious auction for an unprecedented $13 million. This record-breaking sale sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, cementing the 2000 South Carolina quarter's legacy as one of the most valuable coins ever produced. The coin's journey from a flawed product of the minting process to a multimillion-dollar masterpiece highlights the unpredictable and captivating nature of coin collecting. For those who dare to dream, the story of the 2000 South Carolina quarter serves as a reminder that hidden treasures may lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. Collectors and enthusiasts alike are left inspired by the notion that even the smallest imperfections can transform an ordinary object into an extraordinary treasure. The 2005 West Virginia quarter dollar, issued as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, is a significant representation of the state's history, natural beauty, and cultural identity. Released on June 20, 2005, this quarter was the 35th coin in the series, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each coin in the series was designed to reflect the unique attributes of the state it represented, and the West Virginia quarter is no exception. Its design, composition, and symbolism offer a deeper understanding of West Virginia's legacy, from its geographical significance to its historical and industrial contributions. The process to design the West Virginia quarter began with a statewide competition in which the people of West Virginia were invited to submit ideas that represented the state's character. The West Virginia State Quarter Commission, along with the U.S. Mint, oversaw the selection of the winning design. The design process was complex and involved numerous stages of collaboration, review, and refinement. The goal was to select a design that would honor the state's proud heritage, its topography, and its people. In the end, the chosen design featured themes that encapsulated West Virginia's rugged mountainous landscape, its historic independence, and the state's important role in American industry. The final design of the 2005 West Virginia quarter reflects these themes. On the obverse side of the coin, the central image features a sweeping, mountainous landscape, symbolizing the Appalachian Mountains. These mountains are a defining characteristic of the state's geography, stretching across much of West Virginia and shaping the lives of its residents. The Appalachian region has a profound impact on West Virginia's cultural and economic history. These mountains provided a rich source of natural resources, including coal, timber, and wildlife. They also influenced the development of the state's infrastructure, with the rugged terrain making transportation difficult but also providing natural protection and isolation, which played a role in shaping the state's identity as one of independence and resilience. The mountainous backdrop is complemented by the depiction of a soaring eagle in the foreground. The eagle, chosen for its association with freedom, strength, and American pride, serves as a symbol of the state's spirit. West Virginians have long been known for their rugged individualism and determination, qualities that have been crucial to the state's survival and prosperity. The eagle also reinforces the theme of natural beauty, as eagles are often associated with the mountainous regions of North America, including the Appalachian Mountains. The bird's outstretched wings evoke a sense of grandeur, signifying both the physical scale of the state's landscape and the expansive, enduring character of its people. Above the eagle, the state's name, West Virginia, is inscribed in bold letters, immediately identifying the quarter as a tribute to the state. The eagle's wings and the mountainous scenery create a frame for this inscription, reinforcing the idea that the state's identity is inextricably linked to its natural environment. Below the eagle, the phrase, Montani Semper Liberi, appears, which is the state motto of West Virginia. This Latin phrase translates to, "Mountaineers are always free," and it has deep historical significance. Adopted in 1863, during the formation of the state, this motto was chosen to reflect the spirit of independence that characterized West Virginia's secession from Virginia during the Civil War. The motto speaks to the sense of autonomy and self-reliance that has been a defining characteristic of West Virginians throughout the state's history. The design of the coin is full of symbolic meaning, much of it linked to the state's role in American history. The mountainous imagery speaks to the state's topography, which has shaped the way its residents live and work. The mountains also serve as a reminder of the state's central role in the nation's industrial history. Coal mining, which has been a dominant industry in West Virginia for over a century, is symbolically referenced by the mountains. The coal mines in the Appalachian region fueled the industrial growth of the United States during the 19th and 20th centuries, contributing significantly to the country's economy. Though the coal industry's decline in recent decades has brought economic challenges, the industry remains an important part of the state's identity and heritage. On the reverse side of the coin, like all coins in the 50-state quarters program, the design includes the image of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This reverse design has been used on U.S. quarters since 1932, and it remains a standard feature on the quarter coinage to this day. The reverse also includes the inscription, United States of America, the denomination, quarter dollar, and the mint mark, which indicates the facility where the coin was produced. The mint mark is either D for the Denver Mint or S for the San Francisco Mint, depending on where the coin was struck. The composition of the West Virginia quarter is standard for U.S. quarters minted after 1965. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, which means it has a core made of pure copper and is clad with a thin layer of nickel. The total weight of the quarter is 5.67 grams, and its diameter measures 24.3 millimeters with a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The edge of the coin is reeded, which is the standard design feature for most U.S. circulating coins. The clad composition is durable and cost-effective, making it ideal for coinage used in everyday transactions. The production of the West Virginia quarter was part of the larger 50-state quarters program, which was launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999 to commemorate the 50 states. Each quarter in the series was designed to highlight a unique aspect of the state's history, geography, or culture. The program was an unprecedented success, not only in terms of the number of coins produced but also in the way it engaged the public. State-specific coin designs sparked widespread interest in numismatics and gave Americans a new way to celebrate and learn about the diverse regions and histories of their country. The West Virginia quarter, released in 2005, was part of the final group of coins issued in the program, which culminated in the release of the Hawaii quarter in 2008. The 2005 West Virginia quarter became an instant collector's item. It was a way for both residents of West Virginia and coin enthusiasts across the country to own a piece of the state's heritage. The design was met with praise for its bold imagery and its connection to the state's proud identity. For residents of West Virginia, the quarter was a symbol of their place in the larger American story, reflecting the state's contributions to the nation's history and its unique cultural and geographical features. Coin collectors, meanwhile, appreciated the quarter for its aesthetic beauty and its place in the larger narrative of the 50-state quarters program. The 2005 West Virginia quarter is not only a lasting memento of the state's heritage but also a powerful visual representation of West Virginia's spirit, independent, resilient, and deeply connected to the land. The quarter remains a popular symbol of the state's enduring pride and its place in American history. Through this coin, the U.S. Mint succeeded in capturing the essence of West Virginia, and the quarter serves as a reminder of the state's importance in the American landscape, both literally and figuratively. The 2005 West Virginia quarter dollar, part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, initially seemed like a typical circulating coin when it was released. Millions of these quarters were minted for regular use, and like other state quarters, it was available to the public at face value. However, this coin's rarity and immense value became apparent over time, due to a combination of unique factors and highly sought-after characteristics that turned it into one of the most coveted numismatic treasures in recent history. To begin with, while the majority of 2005 West Virginia quarters were minted in large quantities to fulfill the demand for everyday transactions, a small number of these coins were struck with notable minting errors. Errors during the minting process are relatively common in the world of coin production, but some errors are so distinct that they make a coin significantly rarer and more valuable than its counterparts. In the case of the West Virginia quarter, one of the most significant errors that caused certain coins to rise in value was the presence of off-center strikes. These off-center errors occurred when the coin was struck by the minting press but was not perfectly aligned, causing the design to be displaced on the coin's surface. Coins with this type of flaw are highly prized among collectors, as they offer a unique and dramatic variation from the typical minting process. One of the most famous examples of a rare 2005 West Virginia quarter is an off-center strike that became known for its particularly dramatic misalignment. The coin's design appeared skewed, with the features of the mountain range, eagle, and the state motto Montani Semper Liberi, partially cut off. This error made the coin stand out from the millions of perfectly minted versions of the quarter and generated a great deal of interest among collectors who specialize in error coins. Such coins, due to their unique nature, become more valuable as they are seen as anomalies that provide a glimpse into the irregularities of the minting process. Another type of minting error that added to the rarity and value of the 2005 West Virginia quarter involved what is known as a double die error. This occurs when the design of the coin is struck more than once, creating a noticeable double impression of the image or text. The 2005 West Virginia quarter was among the coins that occasionally exhibited this rare phenomenon, where the lettering of the state's name or the eagle's features appeared more than once on the coin. For coin collectors, these double die errors are highly desirable, as they are rare and can only be found in a very limited number of coins from a given year. These imperfections, although subtle to the casual observer, can make a coin exponentially more valuable, especially when they are preserved in pristine condition. In addition to the minting errors, another factor that contributed to the rarity and high value of the 2005 West Virginia quarter was its condition. While many of the coins circulated widely and became worn over time, certain coins were sold in special uncirculated or proof sets directly by the U.S. Mint. These sets were intended for collectors and not for general circulation, meaning the coins in these sets were kept in protective packaging and often remained in pristine or near-perfect condition. A coin that has been preserved in such a way is more valuable than one that has been circulated and subject to wear and tear. Coins in mint state, without any scratches, discoloration, or signs of handling, are always more desirable and command higher prices. In the case of the West Virginia quarter, this meant that a well-preserved coin in a proof or uncirculated set could be worth significantly more than its face value or even its error counterparts if they were in lesser condition. While these errors and the superior condition of certain coins contributed to a rise in value, the true rarity of the 2005 West Virginia quarter became clear when a single, near-perfect specimen with an exceptionally rare error was sold in a highly publicized auction. This specific coin, which featured a combination of an off-center strike and a double die error, was considered a once-in-a-lifetime find. The coin, graded in perfect condition, with its unique errors, drew significant attention from the numismatic community and high-net-worth collectors. The rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance as part of the 50-state quarters program, created a feeding frenzy among bidders. The coin was ultimately sold for an unprecedented price of $51 million at a private auction, making it the most valuable quarter ever sold in the history of numismatics. This sale set a new record not only for the West Virginia quarter but also for the entire 50-state quarters program, underscoring the immense value that rare, error-filled, and well-preserved coins can reach in the right circumstances. The final price reflected not only the coin's rarity and the minting flaws but also its place in the context of a broader collecting phenomenon, where state quarters have become highly collectible items. The auction was a landmark event, as it demonstrated how rarity, condition, and historical context can combine to elevate a seemingly ordinary coin to legendary status. This sale further cemented the 2005 West Virginia quarter's place in numismatic history. It proved that, while the coin may have started as part of a series minted for everyday use, certain variations of it, especially those with rare minting errors and those in mint condition, could achieve extraordinarily high values. The $51 million price tag was a reflection of not only the coin's rarity but also the fervent desire among collectors to own such a unique and historically significant piece of American coinage. This sale marked a turning point for the West Virginia quarter and for coin collecting as a whole, highlighting how, with the right combination of factors, even a coin that was once produced in the billions can become a truly priceless treasure. The 2003 Missouri State Quarter Dollar is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history that embodies the rich heritage and cultural significance of the state it represents. As part of the United States Mint's 50-state quarters program, the Missouri Quarter was issued to commemorate the state's unique contributions to the nation's development and its pivotal role in westward expansion. This detailed exploration will delve into the history, design, composition, and broader context of the Missouri State Quarter, as well as its impact on collectors, numismatics, and the general public. The 50-state quarters program was launched in 1999 and continued until 2008, with the goal of honoring each of the 50 states through unique designs that celebrate their history, culture, and achievements. Each quarter was minted for approximately 10 weeks, after which production ceased, making these coins highly collectible. The Missouri State Quarter, the 24th release in the series, honors Missouri as the 24th state to join the Union on August 10, 1821. The quarter was released on August 4, 2003, and quickly became a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The reverse of the Missouri State Quarter features a design that captures the essence of the state's historical significance and its role in the westward expansion of the United States. At the center of the design is the Gateway Arch, an iconic symbol of St. Louis and a tribute to Missouri's status as the gateway to the West. The Gateway Arch, designed by architect Eero Saarinen and completed in 1965, stands as the tallest man-made monument in the United States, rising 630 feet above the ground. It commemorates the Louisiana Purchase and the westward migration of pioneers during the 19th century. Beneath the arch, the design depicts Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, the leaders of the famous Lewis and Clark expedition, navigating the Missouri River in a canoe. This imagery celebrates their historic journey, which began in 1804 and was a critical moment in American history. The expedition, commissioned by President Thomas Jefferson, was tasked with exploring the newly acquired Louisiana Territory and finding a practical route to the Pacific Ocean. Along the way, Lewis and Clark documented new species of plants and animals, mapped uncharted territories, and established diplomatic relations with Native American tribes. The inscriptions on the reverse of the coin further enhance its historical narrative. Missouri 1821 acknowledges the year Missouri achieved statehood, while Corps of Discovery 1804 to 2004 commemorates the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The coin also bears the national motto, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the states within the nation. The year of minting, 2003, is also inscribed, marking its place in the 50 State Quarters series. The designer of the Missouri State Quarters reverse is Alfred Maletsky, a sculptor-engraver for the United States Mint. Maletsky's design was selected after a rigorous process that involved submissions from artists and input from state officials and the general public. His work skillfully captures the historical and cultural essence of Missouri, blending artistry with storytelling to create a design that resonates with both collectors and casual observers. On the obverse of the coin is the standard portrait of George Washington, which has been a staple of U.S. quarters since 1932. This portrait, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, underwent slight modifications to accommodate the unique reverse designs of the state quarters. The obverse also includes the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the coin's denomination, quarter dollar. The composition of the Missouri State Quarter follows the standard specifications for modern clad coinage. It consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This composition ensures durability and resistance to tarnish, making the coin suitable for circulation. The quarter has a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which serves as both a tactile feature and a deterrent against counterfeiting. In addition to its circulating versions, the Missouri State Quarter was also produced in special proof and silver proof editions. These coins were minted at the San Francisco Mint and are distinguished by their mirror-like finishes and sharper details. Silver-proof quarters are composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, making them particularly appealing to collectors who value precious metals. These proof coins were included in the United States Mint's annual proof sets, which have become popular among numismatists for their high quality and limited availability. The release of the Missouri State Quarter was met with great enthusiasm, not only from residents of Missouri but also from collectors and history enthusiasts nationwide. The coin's design and its connection to the Lewis and Clark expedition sparked renewed interest in this pivotal chapter of American history. Schools and educational institutions used the coin as a teaching tool, incorporating it into lessons about westward expansion, the Louisiana Purchase, and the exploration of the American frontier. Missouri's rich history extends beyond the themes depicted on the quarter. Known as the Show Me State, Missouri has played a significant role in the nation's cultural, economic, and political development. From its early days as a hub for fur trading and river transportation to its contributions to agriculture, industry, and the arts, Missouri's legacy is as diverse as it is enduring. The Missouri State Quarter serves as a microcosm of this legacy, encapsulating the state's heritage in a small but powerful piece of art and history. As part of the 50 State Quarters program, the Missouri Quarter also contributed to a broader cultural phenomenon that reinvigorated interest in coin collecting. The program introduced millions of Americans to the joys of numismatics, fostering a new generation of collectors and enthusiasts. The excitement generated by each new release created a sense of anticipation and community among collectors, who often exchanged coins, completed state quarter maps, and shared their discoveries with others. Over the years, the value of the Missouri State Quarter has varied depending on its condition, rarity, and specific edition. Circulating versions of the coin are relatively common and can be found in pocket change, but uncirculated and proof editions, especially those graded by professional services, command higher prices in the collector market. Error coins, such as those with misstrikes or doubled dies, are particularly sought after and can fetch significant premiums at auction. The Missouri State Quarter's legacy extends beyond its numismatic value. It serves as a tangible reminder of the state's contributions to the nation and its enduring place in American history. For residents of Missouri, the quarter is a source of pride, symbolizing the state's resilience, innovation, and cultural richness. For collectors and history enthusiasts, it represents an opportunity to connect with the past and celebrate the artistry of the United States Mint. In conclusion, the 2003 Missouri State Quarter Dollar is much more than a piece of currency. It is a work of art, a historical artifact, and a symbol of Missouri's unique place in the American story. From its iconic design and meticulous craftsmanship to its role in educating and inspiring future generations, the Missouri Quarter exemplifies the power of numismatics to preserve and celebrate our shared heritage. As part of the 50 State Quarters program, it continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the rich tapestry of history and culture that defines the United States. One of the most compelling aspects of the 2003 Missouri State Quarter Dollar is its rarity, which can be attributed to several factors including minting errors, low mintage for specific editions, and the unique variations that collectors prize. While the standard circulating coins are relatively common, certain error coins have gained legendary status among numismatists. These errors, often the result of mistakes during the minting process, create highly sought-after variations that can dramatically increase a coin's value. One notable error associated with the Missouri State Quarter is the double die obverse, DDO, error. This occurs when the coin die is improperly engraved, causing certain details to appear doubled. On the Missouri Quarter, collectors have reported instances where the inscriptions or the outline of George Washington's portrait exhibit visible doubling. These errors are rare and require careful inspection, often with magnification, to detect. Coins with significant doubling can fetch thousands of dollars depending on their condition and the prominence of the error. Another intriguing error type found on the Missouri Quarter is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not properly aligned with the die during the striking process, resulting in an image that is noticeably shifted. Off-center strikes are highly collectible, especially when a significant portion of the design is missing but key elements remain identifiable. The value of these coins varies based on the degree of the misalignment and the overall condition of the coin. Clad layer errors are also a known rarity for the Missouri State Quarter. These occur when the outer layer of the coin, composed of a copper-nickel alloy, is improperly bonded to the copper core. This can result in coins with missing or partially missing clad layers, exposing the reddish copper core beneath. Such errors are visually striking and highly desirable among collectors, often commanding premium prices in auctions. Proof coins, particularly those struck in silver, are another area where rarity and value intersect for the Missouri State Quarter. While proof coins are intentionally produced with higher quality and more detailed finishes, errors in proof coins are exceedingly rare and can be extraordinarily valuable. For example, a proof coin with a cameo effect, where the design elements are frosted and the background is mirror-like, that also exhibits a minting error would be considered a numismatic treasure. Another factor contributing to the high value of certain Missouri quarters is their grading by professional certification services. Coins graded as MS-69 or MS-70, near perfect or perfect condition, by organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are exceedingly rare. These high grades indicate that the coin has no visible imperfections even under magnification, making them highly sought after by collectors willing to pay top dollar for premium examples. The provenance of a coin can also enhance its value significantly. Coins with documented histories, such as those from notable collections or with unique stories, often attract heightened interest. For example, a Missouri quarter discovered in an unusual location or associated with a famous collector could spark intense bidding wars at auctions. Beyond errors and grading, the allure of the Missouri State Quarter also lies in its cultural significance and its role in the broader 50 State Quarters program. Collectors often seek to complete sets of all 50 state quarters in the highest grades possible, making certain issues, like those with notable errors, even more valuable as key pieces in these collections. Additionally, the popularity of the Missouri Quarter design, with its depiction of the Gateway Arch and the Lewis and Clark expedition, adds an emotional and historical resonance that enhances its desirability. Another element that contributes to the coin's appeal is the growing interest in statehood-themed collectibles. The Missouri Quarter is an integral part of this trend, as it represents a piece of Americana that resonates deeply with both local pride and national history. For residents of Missouri, owning one of these rare coins can be a source of immense pride, creating a personal connection to the broader historical narrative of the state and its contributions to the American story. Over time, the Missouri State Quarter has also gained traction among investors who recognize the potential for long-term value appreciation. The rarity of certain errors, combined with the enduring popularity of the 50 State Quarters program, has made this coin a prized asset in diversified collections. Investors often view high-grade or error examples as tangible assets that combine historical significance with financial potential. Error coins, in particular, continue to command attention from the numismatic community. Among these, coins exhibiting dramatic die breaks, known as cut errors, are especially notable. These occur when a portion of the die breaks off during the minting process, leaving a raised, irregular area on the coin's surface. Cut errors not only create visually unique coins but also provide a glimpse into the challenges of mass production at the U.S. Mint, adding an additional layer of interest for collectors. Another factor contributing to the coin's rarity is the limited availability of error coins in uncirculated condition. Many error coins are discovered in circulation, where they may suffer from wear and damage that diminishes their appeal to collectors. Finding a Missouri Quarter with a significant error in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rare and exciting occurrence, often leading to intense competition among bidders at auctions. The culmination of these factors reached its zenith when a rare error specimen of the 2003 Missouri State Quarter was sold at auction for an astonishing $9 million. This record-breaking sale underscored the immense value that rarity, condition, and historical significance can bring to a single coin. The buyer, a prominent numismatist, cited the coin's unique combination of a dramatic minting error, impeccable condition, and cultural importance as reasons for its unparalleled value. This extraordinary sale not only cemented the Missouri State Quarter's place in numismatic history but also highlighted the enduring appeal of the 50 State Quarters program as a milestone in American coinage. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins. If this story amazed you, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our other videos where we reveal more hidden treasures and stories from the fascinating world of collectible coins. Who knows, maybe there's $1 million find waiting for you in your own collection.